welcome to the daily English news program on Azərbaycan Televiziya with the most important events of the day. I'm your host, Lili Sindi. President İlham Aliyev signed an executive order on additional measures to reconstruct the Khövsan Highway of Sarkhani district of Baku. According to the executive order, 4,900,000 monats from 2021 state budget are allocated to Azərbaycan Avtomobil Yolları State Agency for the construction of this highway connecting two residential settlements with 58,000 inhabitants. Within the framework of cooperation with the Ministry of Forestry and Agriculture of Turkey, work has begun on the creation of a forest park of the Turkish-Azerbaijani Brotherhood in Jabrail region. This was stated at a regular meeting of the Working Group on Environmental Issues of the Interdepartmental Center under the Coordination Headquarters. It was further emphasized that within the cooperation work on the creation of training and educational center and the sapling stock area has begun. These days, when we again and again experience mixed feelings similar to those we experienced a year ago, we recall in our memory everything that happened during the 44-day patriotic war. Often in our memory, in addition to the chronicle of the successful counteroffensive operation of the Azerbaijani army under the leadership of the Supreme Commander-in-Chief Ilham Aliyev, propaganda techniques which the enemy resorted to in order to mislead the world community are also emerging in the information field. But with its brilliant victory both on the battlefield and in the information space, Azerbaijan not only put a period on this issue, but hammered in a big exclamation mark with an iron fist.
Last fall, the liberation war of the Azerbaijani people was going on not only on the battlefield, but also in the information field. The brilliant interviews of the head of state with dozens of foreign media outlets that became the pinnacle of diplomatic professionalism, the contribution of our media structures, including TV channels, together with the work of the press in Turkey and other countries, helped to translate information flows into a truthful channel, conveyed the fair voice of Azerbaijan to the whole world, serving the sacred goal of liberation of our lands from the occupation, serving the highest justice, the principles of international law and common sense. Along with the bright speeches of politicians, public figures and media representatives well versed in the situation, who were trying to explain to the whole world, and especially to the victims of Armenian propaganda, that Azerbaijan was waging a war in its own territory and liberating it from the occupiers. Often in the press, on the radio waves and on the television we have heard outright lies, distortion of historical facts, the desire to powder the brains of an ignorant audience. There were also statements completely devoid of neutrality from the Minsk group co-chairing countries, and quotes of racist nature revealing the nationalist essence of the Armenian ideology. Believing in their own invented story, in countless myths about an invincible army which supposedly consisted of fearless fighters whom they called lions and gods of war, the Armenians were bitterly disappointed when they learned the whole truth about what happened on the battlefield, about the complete defeat of the armed forces, about thousands of deserters. For all this was in no way consistent with the thesis of both official and unofficial propaganda, including from the lips of pro-Armenian politicians and experts. Truthful reports from the front, reports from the battlefield and the territories of Azerbaijan that were targeted by Armenian rocket attacks, where there were civilian casualties, were a serious rebuff to the dirty insinuations of the Armenian propaganda machine. But the main response the Azerbaijani people, the Azerbaijani soldier gave on the battlefield. Now, we just want to ask those who spoke about the invincibility of the Armenian army. Where are you and why are you silent?
On October 1st, ADA University launched a new project, a training program called Manifesto of a Teacher and an Educator. It will be taught in the historic building of the Kazakh Teachers Seminary.
The program is designed for a one-year advanced training course. The goal is to apply successful experience in regional schools. Discussions on the implementation of the program were held in Kazakh.
When we conceived a program called Manifesto of a Teacher and an Educator, we thought of you, because we have thought about the impact of your future in our society. I knew that your activity, your example will influence the chosen 500 people and they will bring even more benefits to our society. We will do our best to make you proud of your education.
Within the framework of the program, the building of the Kazakh Teacher Seminary, which laid the foundation for the national education system of Azerbaijan, will be restored. Thereafter, the continuation of the educational mission will be envisaged. The letter of intent was signed between the partners at the presentation of the program. At the university undertook to restore both the building and the mission of training the graduates of the Kazakh Teacher Seminary. We witnessed the start of work on the restoration of the building, architectural construction, and at the same time, the first educational program of the seminary began. The first training of program starts with the participation of about 50 teachers and school principals from various Azerbaijani regions and selected through interviews. It should be noted that construction work in the historical building of the Kazakh Teacher Seminary has already begun. The seminary building to be restored and the modern education system being introduced will make a great contribution to the development of the national and pedagogy personnel.
689 infections with the novel coronavirus were registered in Azerbaijan. 1,816 people recovered after treatment and were released home. 18 people who earlier tested positive for COVID-19 died. The overall confirmed cases in Azerbaijan have reached 484,591, with 460,738 recoveries and 6,543 deaths. The number of active infections is 17,310. To detect new infection cases over the past day, 9,558 tests and overall 4,868,573 tests have been conducted in Azerbaijan, the task force under the Cabinet of Ministers reported. That was all for today. Thank you for being with us and see you next time.